men have failed since the beginning of time
Okay.
to teach us what not to do.
Awesome.
He's saying, don't do this stuff.
Great spot to be right here. Great spot for a intermission and a reset. The question is
oh, you mean right now in time?
America, okay. What, falling apart on the verge of collapse? Yeah. So, like I said, the first 16 words of the First Amendment don't have anything to do with God. Okay, so you guys have gone on a 45-minute tangent about God. And
is that okay? Do we need your permission to do that?
Like I said, we let all gods exist in America.
Yeah, but we restrained to First Amendment talk.
No, you're good. You're fine. I'm just saying you're spinning your wheels. Is all I'm saying. Because I
would like to exercise my freedom of speech in this case.
That everybody gets the right to have their own God, right? It's not just freedom of speech, dipshit.
Oh, ad hominem. Okay, that's enlightening.
It's freedom of right and express yourself with your religious facts and your religious doctrines and your religious dogma, like wearing a fucking spaghetti strainer hat.
And your
freedom
freedom
God
to use
doesn't
dialogue
get to dictate to everybody else what they get to do in this country.
Yeah, I used the colander one time. I used the colander one time to watch the eclipse, but I ended up getting
still burned your eyes. You got to use stronger
eye strain. I got eye strain. It's a strainer. You fucking ruined my joke.
It'll still get you.
You got to use two.
Try harder.
I tried to, but man, so many people. Listen,
Uncle Fatty, for the 1000th time, I argue for the separation of.
And I mean, I think you guys touched on some really good things though there.
But I'm sorry that you think I'm arguing for Christian nationalism.
I argue for the separation of Wi-Fi from society.
Okay. Done and done.
No, you're arguing some base off of words that you made up your own meanings to and conform to fit your own narrative.
Can I throw something there?
America just didn't start falling apart in the last 3.5 years, Wi-Fi, right?
Why do you think it's falling apart? That's a good.
And while America isn't perfect right now, right? We are the best fucking economy in the world. We always have been. We've got 10 times bigger fucking military than any other countries.
How much of that economy is dead?
Together. Look at the funding alone.
How much
tell me we're not number one. Tell me how we're not number one.
We're negative 35 trillion, right?
We can't be number one when we owe money to countries that we have beef with.
It's figured on the same factors that it was.
We're more in debt than we've ever been.
In debt. Yes, we are.
More than ever before.
Our enemies at that. We're in debt to our enemies.
And what up, Flo? We got Flo in the house.
Bring us 1/3 of that debt in 4 years.
But my question is, why do you even care about that? How is, even if America supposedly is winning by all these metrics, how does that help you? How does that help your personal life? I don't care if America has 100 F-35s.
Why do you care so much? Who hurt you?
General? Okay, General, it's because I'm not a fucking. I'm not a military. I serve the military. Everybody owes me everything, right? I don't care about that.
Why do you care so much?
Lasagna. Flo is here. Daddy Flo is in the house.
Oh, what's up? I thought this was you. That's why I was saying some shit, but this is you.
Well, now he's here. You can actually say shit to him.
No, he didn't say shit. Like, if he said something
have shit to
stupid,
say
I would
to me?
say something. Dude, can you listen to? I thought you said something stupid, but it was this other guy. Now, if you say something stupid, obviously I'm gonna say something, but you haven't said anything.
Your Wi-Fi sound the same.
So you think I said something stupid?
Yeah, I thought I said something.
It wasn't you.
It wasn't you. No.
Okay, hold on. First of all, I don't even know if this was a relevant point or just a in passing thing, but you said that women lead men because men follow what women like, and I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I actually am a little bit surprised that you believe that, and if that is the case, I think that that's a fantastic opportunity for every dude.
Okay, Flo, let me rebuttal to what you said. So that was saying in the context of, so Glenn was saying that, like, oh, women want trad men and that they flock to trad men and they like basically grovel for trad men. And that's what I said. Okay, if that were true, then every man would try to be trad because most men want women and they want pussy, right? The fact that most men are not being trad, just that shits on Glenn's idea that, like, yeah, most women want trad men.
Do you think that affiliation is led primarily by the prevalence of vagina.
What do you mean political affiliation? I think being trad has nothing with like a political. I think it's just
a
the way you
political
act.
view of worldview. I mean, it's cultural, right? So you think cultural positioning is led by where more women are, and we can. I mean, well, if you take the political component of it, right, which political party people align with, there's a gender split.
Yeah, most women, although I would agree that like there's a lot of women that are doing like this whole trad shit. I would argue that's not the majority. The majority of women argue for like being independent and being and like equal
but why
rights.
does it matter?
That's
What do you mean,
only
why does it matter?
because the majority of men are lost. That's why the majority of
No,
men.
it doesn't matter.
Yes, Joe.
My rebuttal was to Glenn. He was saying that most women want a trad man, and I was saying that he's delusional because if that were true, he would have like hundreds of women knocking down trying to suck his dick.
Well, let's say in the natural state, but right now is not a natural state when a lot of women, I don't know the percentage, but are on birth control. And I'm not a scientist, but studies seem to show that women on birth control, and more importantly, I think it's intuitive, are not going for the same type of men that they would have if it were not for hormonal birth control.
Imbalances.
Well, then, base. Why are they taking? No one's forcing them to take birth control, right? They're doing it because they want to.
Feminist.
Nobody's forcing them. No, nobody's forcing them.
So then, why are they doing it?
It's
Even the
12%
most
sickness
independent
with the
steel-toe
TB and
feminists
all that shit we see
like-
nowadays.
Society is teaching them that they're irresponsible if they don't take the birth control.
That's true.
But even the most independent, steel-toe wearing, abortion-loving woman still likes manly men. They may pretend they don't. What, Betty? No, they don't. They do. Joe, cover your ears. Back when I was a Proud Boy, it used to be a thing for us to try to bang.
Because
the commie
some fucking
chicks.
reason they're taking it to regulate.
They might hate us in the streets, but they loved us in the sheets.
Okay, yeah, but then again, right? But you doing that is still
They're all
against
sluts, every
your
one of them, but
your
it doesn't mean
primary
that's why they're
traditional thing,
killed.
right? So if you're arguing for like traditionalism and then you're doing this, you're just proving their point, right? Because their
I wasn't
whole
arguing
point.
for anything.
Hold on, Flow State. Their whole point is to be independent, right? They don't care if they fuck you if you're trad or not. It's not really about like your political affiliation. It's mostly about if they're attracted to you or not. You could have been super left, but if they're attracted to you, they're still gonna fuck you.
I honestly think that the real thing is deeper than that, and it's everybody in our Western society has lives that are too easy and no real challenges, so we create our own challenges. I think a lot of the women are fighting patriarchy because they need to make something. I think a lot of men are fighting women who are independent or whatever. It's all the same. It's fruit of the same tree.
I
not
agree.
enough problems.
I agree. It's divisive, though. I mean, at the large scale, it's a division that we have rather than coming together, which I think is a major issue. And that's just one facet, right? Men and women. And then there's race, culture. What fucking sports team do you watch? Like, it goes down to the nuance of we're more different than we are similar. And I think that division has breeded hate. And, the fact of the matter is people in general don't seem to stand on much common ground looking for good.
And this is where you and I have disagreed about approaches, right? Because you're head on, and I think that the only way to stop division is to stop dividing.
Well, no, I agree. I mean, go after the core root of it.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah, I'm sure he agrees with that. Where's the disagreement?
And I do think that the only way to do that is to create like to let everybody be as free as they want to be, but not impede on each other's like self, right? You could do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting another person.
That's when
right?
they stop
But then-
imposing your will on other people. That's
Yeah,
exactly what it is.
but then again, now you look at people like
True,
like Glenn
I agree
or
with
the-
that comment.
You look at like people like Glenn or the people that
awesome.
really right wing people that he agrees with, right? Most of these traditional cucks want women to be a certain way or act a certain way.
Wait, what's a traditional cuck?
What
the
is
fuck?
And
You don't.
and
You.
on is what it is.
I think it's like you want women to like think a certain way because you're assuming that things are fucked up now because everybody's a degenerate and just doing whatever they want. I would argue most people want to be the way that they are now, and they're actually expressing their true self.
Oh, their true self is being degenerate?
Yeah. If you want to be a lot of people want to be degens. Like,
So do you think you're in your truth right now being a degenerate?
I mean, I still have to like work
Isn't
and shit
that
like that.
kinda-
So I do it when I want to, right, or when I feel like it. I mean, it's not something where like it's not like a religion. If I want to do it, then I do it. If I don't, then I don't, right?
Your true self isn't that shallow all the time. That's your base self, not your true self. If
I
you
agree.
live even with-
Sometimes I wanted something deeper, so I'll watch
Right.
like a cool movie that like makes me think, right? But sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just want to be a retard.
Right.
So I'll be a
and
retard.
everybody has those base
Mission
instincts, but they get
accomplished.
mistaken a lot for true instincts. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just,
Lasagna, what percentage of retard do you think that you are?
It depends. Like if I really want it, I could be like 100. Like I could be like 80 to 90% retard if I really want to. Like
so that's
say
like-
fuck off. Yeah.
Fully retarded. Okay.
Yeah, but I could also be like I could have like a legit logical conversation and be like, okay, does this make sense? You know?
He's pretty clever for a retard.
Okay. Well, I feel like I've been making valid points, but if you're just gonna be like, okay, that's just retarded without even
I
giving
didn't.
it a
I was trying to
logical
bring
point.
you back from where I was bringing you back from where Based had put you at full
He was
retard, and I was-
boosting you up. Don't be a retard.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
saying that you're pretty clever.
You're like the smartest kid with Down syndrome on the short bus.
Isn't there something in the
Whoa. You're gonna take that from GS?
inherently?
Well, I mean, if he's, it doesn't really bother me because it's GS and like you know,
He can-
what-
He's
Yeah.
probably good at piano or something,
So-
or like counting M&Ms in a jar.
Rolling his face along the keys.
So lasagna, maybe I'm retarded and you can help me out. Should we
Let's
have
see who's
more?
a retard. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't think anybody's retarded. If you're happy with what you're doing,
Yes,
that's
you're
fine.
retarded.
My
Let
thing,
me,
I'm
let me
not-
ask the question.
Wi-Fi is here.
Yes,
Is
yes.
retarded.
Yes, very. So, do we need more
Yeah.
soy boy
my
beta
God,
cucks, or do we need more tradcon men in this country? What do you
I
think?
think you
you
should.
mean
I think you
trad
should. I think you should let everybody do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
If you want to get married, get
Agreed.
married. I don't think you should try to control
Isn't that
anybody.
like do as thou wilt? Isn't that like the satanic,
Yeah, and I'm down with
handbook?
it.
So,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
big
So
soy boy
hyperfocused,
As
beta
a good
bro.
cucks.
Catholic would be.
That's what I'm hearing.
If someone
That's
wants to be a soul boy, then let him be a soul boy. If
But-
someone wants to be trad, let them be trad. But I would argue the majority of people don't want to be trad, or they would be.
God gave people free
What
will,
is-
and I think
what is
that
tradition?
it's consistent with Christianity to not try to remove their free will. Something that God gave
So,
them.
lasagna, just on the basic laws of supply and demand, what happens? What do you think will happen if there's less tradcon men in society? What do you think is going to happen to the women?
You're assuming that again, dude. You're so fucking weird. So you think all
Sorry.
women want trad men?
on
Okay,
your-
that's fine.
No, I'm just asking you pure simple
definition
numbers. Like,
of the word
like if
tradition.
yesterday-
Nothing's gonna happen, dude. Like women are not attracted to your
All
political
perspective
affiliations.
lies
They're
by-
attracted to you, right? Like if they like you, you can be trad, you can be left, but they like you, so it doesn't
if
matter.
yesterday we had 70% of the men in America were tradcon men, but then next week only 2% of the men are tradcon men, and now they're all soy boy beta cucks. What do you
Mhm.
think is going to
Tradcon
happen?
Muslims?
What's the
Or,
point of
A
this
lot,
question?
you know what's gonna happen? A
Jews?
lot
were
more
they?
fucking is gonna happen. A lot
This
more.
seems like a dumb question to me.
The point of the question.
That's what I
Flo,
was saying. I
Flo,
find retarded.
I'll slow it down for you, Flo. Okay, so
Well, it's purely
the
speculative.
point
It's
is supply and demand. So, like, if you're a woman trying to find a male partner in today's society, and 90% of your choices are soy boy beta cucks, then what do you think is going to happen to your outlook and personality in life?
I feel like this is unuseful, unnecessary nerding.
It's a
Okay.
circular, illogical
Yeah.
square of a circle, man.
I
I mean,
know.
that's
like,
a
boy.
take this hypothetical situation and then apply the output of it to
no,
real life.
no. Flo,
What the fuck
it's
are you gonna
it's
do
a
with
stupid
it?
question because like
You're
he's
right.
assuming
It
that-
has nothing to do with the general population and culture and society. That has nothing to do with
nothing
this
to do with
conversation.
anything, and you're biased against the left. That's all it is.
Okay,
dude.
so-
this whole
wait,
argument,
so-
this whole thing that
so-
you're on today.
I'm biased against the left
It's
too,
all
but
about
not as
your
much as I'm biased against him.
Yeah, so Fi, let me ask you a question.
No,
So if women have a lot more freedom than they have ever had freedom, right? So if they wanted to be like trad, like they were 50 years ago, like you said, they would do it, right? So I mean, what's your
Oh,
point
okay,
here?
okay, lasagna. Now now we're getting there. So, okay,
Are
so,
you going to blame the Jews?
so
That
now
reason why they
you
did
can
that?
can I respond
Today's
to
women are living in the traditions of today. Okay,
So,
the women we have right now, they are trad women.
So lasagna, the exact
They're living
same
in
question.
today's tradition. It's not
I'll wait till he's
I
out.
throw a flag on that claim, Fatty. Tradition has historical implication to it. You can't say that today is tradition because tomorrow,
So lasagna.
And it's also free flowing, and it also changes and adapts.
I agree. It is flowing, and things swing.
It
right.
also adapts.
Right. So whatever extreme we hit now, I think there's going to be a lot of people who like women who got careers, men who chose to go their own way, and these groups of people are going to realize they fucked up too late, and we're going to see a reversal in those trends.
Yep.
Okay, lasagna. Are you ready for the next part of the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you gay?
So the exact same question. Now it's in reverse.
Wi-Fi.
So
I
Wi-Fi.
hate your questions.
is it okay if I talk to the lasagna guys? Do I have your permission?
Yeah, but first, hold on.
want you to know
Before
that I
you
hate
go
them.
on, you had something fucked up baked in there, lasagna. You're not much of a baker for a lasagna maker. So you were talking about so you were talking about the question originally, right? Was that women are doing what they want to do, right? Like, I mean, that was baked into it, and one of the or people in general. Yeah. And one of the things I want to bring up is, no, they're not. People are not necessarily doing what they want to do. Sure, on the surface, but it's more so that people are doing what they think they want to do, which I would make a distinguishment between.
What's a distinguish? Like, what's the difference?
They've been
wait, Joe. Hold on.
The difference is
hold on, Joe.
The difference is the facade between reality and the illusion. That's the difference between people doing what they want to do versus what they think they want to do.
But again, like, you're confusing.
Right, so people think that they... Okay, let me make this point. So there's kids in school, very unfortunately, who think, or their parents think, that they want to chop their dick off. Now, I would argue they don't actually want to do that, and I say unfortunately because it is happening. I don't know what degree, I don't know the stats, but that would be an example of people doing what they think they want to do.
There are no stats.
Okay, again, so
I got to push back on this. There's no stats on that at all. There's
no stats on what?
He could have named 100 other things. It didn't have to be.
But where are these medical procedures that we're so concerned about? Where are these medical procedures happening? And like,
so you don't think it's happened one time?
You
think they're not happening?
Protecting children is important. That's what I'm asking.
What's that?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think kids are important. I think it's good that we don't mutilate children. I don't see where there's any paperwork that says that we've been mutilating children. That if there was a dozen.
He's challenging the claim that kids are getting their dicks chopped off. Okay, how about their boobs cut off? Because that's for sure happening.
Okay, sure, their boobs cut off. Whatever.
Yeah, yeet the teat. You remember that thing that was going on TikTok?
Yeah, I don't remember it, but that's good.
So Base, I do think you're arguing like Dad's example is like I mean, I get what you're saying, right? How do you know that someone's doing something good for themselves? Hold on. I think after 18, everybody should be able to decide what they want. Under 18, then that's different, right? But we're talking
I agree.
Hold on. We're talking. Okay.
I agree.
Okay, let me finish my point.
I still agree.
Me too.
So you said, how you're trying to protect someone from hurting themselves, but after the age of 18, even if someone's hurting themselves, it's their right to do that, right?
Well, they wouldn't be a kid. I brought up the example of kids.
18.
What? I'm not talking about that though. Pikey, we're talking about like relationships, about like marriage and all this shit.
You asked how somebody could want something without actually knowing what they want, and I gave you an example. I gave you a couple.
Okay, so I'm talking about anybody who's 18 or older, okay? That doesn't apply what you just said.
Look, people are fucking people. I gave you an example. So the example has to be 18 or older okay. So 18-year-old who can legally chop off their dick.
Yeah.
I would argue
that's my rebuttal. That's their even if you don't deem that, even if you deem it stupid, that's still their right to do what they even if it's stupid. I could jump off, I could do something to kill myself and it would be dumb, right? That's still my decision. And you trying to take that away is actually.
I didn't try to do anything. What the fuck are you talking about? Try to.
What's the point of your statement? Then?
The point, if you back up, was all this based on the fact that you didn't listen? Because if you back up, I was just saying that inherently you have a flaw in your conclusion, a presupposition that people want X, Y, Z, and I was simply pointing out that people don't always know what they want. Then you ask for example. I give you an example.
What do you mean by that? If somebody wants,
what the fuck do you mean? What do I mean?
Yeah, somebody wants X, Y, and Z, and if they want that, then they want it, right? If they regret it later on, then that's their fault. But at that moment, they want it.
Okay, so you can prove what somebody wants in their mind versus the actions that they take. Lasagna can prove that. Nobody else in the world can, but Lasagna can prove it.
What are you talking about? The majority of people do what they want, right? Like people.
No, that's what I'm contending. You're missing the fucking point.
So so you would argue the majority of people are not doing what they want. Then what are they doing? Is someone holding a gun to their head? Like, what are you talking about?
What they think they need to.
They have been tricked into making unhealthy
need to do for what? Like to survive? Like to survive? Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, what to survive, to not be bad.
The perception of surviving.
Right. Fear and duty, I think, way more than once. But I got to bounce out and get. All right. Take the daughter, get some food. I'm going live in a little bit. We're having a party, a celebration of
what
the active. Hold on. We're Paul Enslaved saved Denver. I don't know if you heard, Joe.
No, I did not.
But it's going to be a celebration of the activism and achievements of Paul Enslaved and all the rights and principles and freedoms. He's gone to jail so many times too.
I'm editing. I'm gonna be there late, man, because it's just an editing break to smoke with somebody. But I'm still.
All right. I just thought I'd give you a heads up if you want to come and give your testimony about what you've experienced Paul doing and the things you've seen him do on the ground, because he took credit for Denver. So, anyways, later.
Cool.
Thanks for having me up.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I gotta hear it. Fuck. I got to be an adult though, right?
Okay, general specific. Do you have any rebuttals to that? I feel like.
Look, we're going to do our 10-minute wrap up. All right, go on. We're going to do our 10-minute wrap up. So this is going to be 10-minute warning. Go on.
I know where you're going with that. It's programming, right? We're receiving programming.
Where I'm going?
So many different. No, I think where you going with what you were saying there was that we got all this programming coming at us, and it's real easy for people to be in a state of not really knowing what we want. We're in this state of contentment, right? And we're moving and we're going with the flow of society, and in reality, nobody even knows.
Right,
really
like sheep mentality. Look, nobody natively wanted the fucking Yeezy, ugly ass Yeezy sneakers that are like $1,000, whatever they are. Nobody natively in their minds was like, oh, I want a sneaker that looks like the Yeezys. But meanwhile, it comes out, it's popular, basketball player, whoever wearing them and showing them off. And now all of a sudden there's a market for it. Not just a market, but they're fucking selling out. Right? So that's the point. That's my point. Oh, I really want these. Well, you didn't want them till somebody else wanted them. So did you really at heart want them from the beginning?
Okay, but then, I would have to, that's where I have the argument with you, right? So it's like,
okay, make your argument.
I do things like that are good, right? Like you're talking about something artistic, right? I do think that humans have an innate ability to try to grasp for something that inspires them, that makes them feel good, right? Why does a person need a fucking Maybach or a fucking nice house, right? And they don't need it. You could technically live in a tent, right, and be okay.
And you might be happier depending on the variables.
Well, but the reason why people strive, and I would argue the reason why people have motivation to progress in life is because they want more shit. Now, if you think that's a stupid reason, I agree with you to some extent.
Yeah.
Not fully, because with money I can like fuck hotter chicks, but I'm saying this pursuit of subjective things that you deem beautiful, I do think that's a very important part of society.
No, I agree with most of that was on you. Even a broken clock, right, twice a day. So no, look, those are some good points, I think, and I agree. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but I think you're being a little bit too too cold in the sense that you want people, like, imagine if you take away the majority of people. Like if you want the majority of people to live like you, I would argue, probably we would live happier. But then you would take out all the the coolness of life, right? Like art and like cool movies and like drugs.
Well, look, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, right? I'm not saying like, hey, you need to start eating healthy. Although I know that they probably very likely would start feeling better, right? The feeling, but also their body would start reacting better to eating healthy, for instance. But I'm not forcing them to. I don't go around, fucking mogging people eating Burger King like, hey, bitch, put that down. Even though a part of me wants to, granted. really people do have their own free will to do as they want.
But I understand your point. People been trained like puppies to believe they want that Burger King and that
Right.
shit, and they're dying for it when their healthy self would choose something totally different, and they feel much better about that decision. They don't even know about it.
Agreed. It's subconscious to a degree, right? Depending on what we're talking about, but sure, there's an addiction factor too. In fact, there's many factors that play into this. It's not just simple
The TV
like
commercial.
Yeah, it's not just though that the TV commercial made me eat McDonald's, right? There's also the factor of what chemicals, additives, addiction type of things, MSGs, right? Could go down the rabbit hole on it. And I'm just saying that people aren't in their natural state. That's all I'm saying.
So
Okay, well, let me ask you
don't
something, Base.
understand.
Okay, what's like a guilty pleasure that you have? You said you're very strict with your diet and all that. Do you like once every month like kind of splurge and like do something, or are you just like always like very disciplined in that sense?
No, I'm not always. I'm not always rigid with. Oh, I can't eat this or that. But I am always conscious of what I'm intaking. Right? Like I don't drink soda, but if I go out and have a whiskey, it'll probably have a little bit of soda in it. Right? Like I'll do a splash, whatever. I know that splash has whatever 4, 6, 8 grams of sugar. That's still a lot better than 36 or whatever was in the fucking can.
Yeah,
that's true.
I haven't even considered.
So I'm just saying being conscious of what we're doing. What's that?
I've never really heard you argue from the point of the hard line that Wi-Fi likes to throw down. You know,
I don't think that I do.
I've heard over the past few weeks, you've been pretty open to, you know, this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to force anything onto anybody. Where Wi-Fi comes at things with this real hard line, you know, attitude, and just
let me know when I get my closing. If you
you good, GS, do your thing.
Yeah, the general finish up.
Yeah, a lot of really good points tonight, and I kind of wish I heard Joe talk a little bit more. I think he tried chiming in a couple times, and
what the fuck, Joe?
But so the interesting thing is this, and I always thought it was kind of like chicks were like chicks, as in dames, as in birds, as in women, as in lasses, are a lot like chickens. You observe their behavior. When you throw the scratch grain out, they all run to it. And then you throw another handful out, even though the same thing you're throwing out is what you just threw out, they'll run to that, and then they run to the next pile. Right. So, and that's when Base said something really interesting. You know, he's like the Yeezys. You know, once somebody popular thought that they were worth collecting, all of a sudden everyone's like, bark, 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 bark.
Right.
You know, what do you got over there? What do you got over there? What do you got?
And with many things, that's one example, right?
Yeah, and so I always thought it was kind of like chicks were kind of like motivated to do that, but Base kind of alerted a blind spot. I think most human beings follow the crowd. They follow.
Yeah.
They don't lead. A lot of people.
Well, think about it. Not to interrupt you, but think about it. Even with women looking at men who are in a relationship, they view it as right to some degree as well. He's been verified. He's been checked. Somebody wants his this type of energy. Right, it's almost like a pre-qualification in terms of vetting. So I think that is applicable to many things in life, right? Where there's this trust factor, which falsely comes from the idea, well, other people are doing it, so it must be okay. And it's not so bad if I do it, even if I think it's bad, because other people are doing it.
And there's a safety there. If everybody else is doing it, I can't get hurt if I hang out over there. I think most people are insecure and they run to shelter, and
if they're cheating in the election, I might as well too.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you, GS, but I wanted to throw that out there.
No, I was pretty much done, man. Thank you for having me up, man. It was a really great topic for the most part. Even Lasagna had some good input there. I thought.
Thanks,
look at you, Lasagna. Lasagna, you getting props. Look at you.
No. I think GS. I think me and you could have good religious talk, but I do again. The only stance I have with that is you have to also exercise common sense and discernment, right? Obviously the Bible's it's goated, but at the same time, if the Bible was so straightforward, we wouldn't have so many denominations within even Christianity. So you have to look kind of outside of the box sometimes.
Well, a denomination is just a mathematical thing, and I talked to Flo and Based about this, a numerator and a denominator. I'm not about denominating the body of Christ. I'm not about splitting it up and fracturing it. Fracturing happens when men get in their egos. They want leadership, they want power, they want control, and thus that's when the schisms start to happen, because and that's men left to their own design.
Well, this is like greed you're describing in a way, right? Like I had a little bit, now I want a little bit more, and enough is never enough, and that type of mentality. So look, I never like to leave without at least.
They say the truth is dangerous. They try to keep it concealed. I'm a voice for the people, dissecting investments of your ego, exposing the shields, uncovering the schemes. Knowledge is power, corruption of education is a theme. Baseball, here to save you from the shields. I bring the truth.